What up, Bugles? I want to welcome you to this video and to our Comics Bugle channel, your go-to spot for everything omnibus and oversized. There is no sweeter feeling for a collector than completing a long-awaited set. And today we are closing with a book for one of the most anticipated Spider-Man collection of all times. Oh yes, Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 5. The cover price is 100 USD and the book has 856 pages. The content is a mix of late-era Ultimate Spider-Man issues, specifically issues 150 through 160, the highly impactful Ultimate Fallout material, and surprisingly, the entire Ultimate Marvel team-up run. At first glance, that sounds messy, almost disorganized, but that's the beauty of this omnibus. It contextualizes Peter Parker's journey within the broader landscape of the Ultimate Universe in a way no previous volume did. I own direct market cover by legendary Mark Bagley, which features intense, action-driven scene with Spider-Man facing deadly Sinister Six. Its darker palette and dramatic lighting give it a more serious and high-stake atmosphere. This version appeals to collectors who prefer a grittier, more kinetic interpretation of the characters. Here we have a standard cover by David Lafuente, which showcases Spider-Man swinging across a web pattern background, surrounded by a gallery of iconic allies and enemies. Its clean, character-focused composition highlights the scope of the Ultimate Universe. Interesting is, Bagley art from direct market cover is the same art as for direct market cover of Ultimate Comics, that of Spider-Man Omnibus, which is kind of weird decision on Marvel's behalf. And I'm gonna compare these two books a little bit more later in this video. However, for me personally, I choose a Bagley's cover and that was a no-brainer. Like, come on, it's Mark Bagley. The back cover prominently displays a grid of miniature comic book covers representing the issues collected within the volume, which is classic Marvel Omnibus back cover design, and I need to say I'm down with its classic tone. Above them, there are some review citations, and underneath cover, next to little swinging Spidey art, we can find short summable story and list of issues collected in this omnibus, alongside with names of creators who work on them. The spine displays the Marvel Omnibus branding along the top, logo of the book with the creator names underneath it, and at the very bottom we can find little Spidey art. The design followed the same style as the previous volumes, and that's one of the reasons I decided to wait for the release of Volume 5 instead of pulling the trigger on the Death of Spider-Man Omnibus. The boards feature a dynamic wraparound illustration showcasing Spider-Man alongside with Ultimates. We can see here ultimate versions of Thor, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Wasp, and of course Iron Man. Art literally screams action, and with their vibrant colors and energetic composition, fits the tone of Spidey's adventures perfectly. When we open the book, we are greeted by opening page with illustration of Spider-Man with backpack swinging through the city. Next is table of contents / credit page with information about all chapters and all talents who contribute to the material contained in this book. And after a brief recap of the events from the previous books, the stories themselves finally begin. Omnibus kicks off with issues from main Ultimate Spider-Man series. Peter Parker in Bendis' hand is an mythic figure who stands above ordinary concerns. He's a teenager under immense pressure. He's scared, he's exhausted, he's trying desperately to balance heroism with personal responsibility, and the narrative is unrelenting in showing how much that responsibility weighed on him. This version of Spider-Man may be younger, but that only heightens his emotional vulnerability. Bendis doesn't give Peter room to breathe. Every breakthrough is met with a new crisis. Every moment of triumph carries the seed of tragedy. The emotional trajectory of these issues is only amplified by the artwork. Mark Bagley, who defined the look of the Ultimate Spider-Man series for years, collaborates here with artists like Sarah Pichelli, David Lafuente, and others. bringing visual variety while retaining a cohesive tone. Bagley's Peter is expressive and boyish without ever becoming caricature. Pichelli's work, on the other hand, gives the Ultimate Universe an almost cinematic texture. Her lines are cleaner, more mature, and more emotionally nuanced. The shift between artists enhances the sense that Peter's world is changing, that something bigger is happening just beneath the surface. Visually, the omnibus feel like a world cracking open. From the very start of this collection, Brian Michael Bendis demonstrates why his voice became synonymous with the ultimate version of Spider-Man. His writing here feels confident, self-aware, and emotionally refined. He knows this world inside and out. He understands Peter not as a symbol or franchise character, but as a living, breathing human being. Through these issues, Bendis leans heavily into themes of legacy, responsibility, and identity. Ideas that have defined Spider-Man from the very beginning, but that gain even more weight here because Peter's story is approaching its inevitable conclusion. But what's fascinating is that this omnibus is not simply a goodbye. It's actually an interrogation of what it means for Spider-Man to exist beyond the one person history traditionally associates with that mask. As we approach the death of Spider-Man storyline, the stakes continue to rise. The Ultimate Universe has always prided itself on consequences, permanent ones, not editorial illusions. And Bendis uses this to deliver one of the most emotionally devastating arcs Marvel ever produced. Peter's death isn't a shock value stunt. It isn't a crossover gimmick. It's the inevitable endpoint of a boy who believed more deeply in responsibility than safety. Bendis once said that Spider-Man isn't about powers, but about consequences. And nowhere does that philosophy ring truer than here. Every choice Peter makes through this omnibus feels like it's carving his destiny into stone. Now, it's impossible to talk about this omnibus without addressing the elephant in the room, how it compares to the Ultimate Comics, that of Spider-Man Omnibus. Collectors often debate which of these two is more essential, and whether buying both constitutes double dipping. It's a fair concern. These two omnibus editions cover overlapping material after all. That of Spider-Man Omnibus have all Fallout issues and whole Avengers vs. Ultimates miniseries, and this book collects only material which is directly tied to Peter's story. On the other hand, it collects whole Marvel team-up miniseries which never wasn't released in an oversized format. Me personally, I choose to wait for Volume 5 not only because of aesthetics on my shelf, but I totally understand everyone who chooses that of Spider-Man Omnibus instead of this one. And I also get every hardcore collectors who bought both books. Now let's talk about the most important outcomes of this omnibus. Miles Morales. Ultimate Fallout collected here in parts isn't just a reaction to Peter's death. It's the first breath of a universe learning to grieve. It asks a terrifying question. What happens when the hero is gone, but the need remains? The world doesn't end because Peter Parker falls. The threats don't stop. Hope doesn't vanish. It seeks a new host. Miles isn't just a replacement. He's a philosophical successor. Where Peter's story was about sacrifice, Miles' story becomes about legacy. Bendis uses him not as a reboot, but as an evolution. And this omnibus gives us the emotional architecture behind the choice. The world of Spider-Man is no longer defined by a single person. It becomes something larger, something generational. Looking at Volume 5 in the context of the entire run, it's impossible not to appreciate just how well Bendis stuck his landing. Across all his years writing Ultimate Spider-Man, he refined a storytelling voice unlike any other in superhero comics. His dialogue is rhythmic and casual, almost conversational. Characters talk over each other. They hesitate. They mumble. Teenage awkwardness is another trope. It's a linguistic ecosystem. Bendis understands that superheroes aren't interesting because they are perfect. They are compelling because they are human. And in this omnibus, we watch Peter become the most human he's ever been. even as he approached mid. The last part of this omnibus, Ultimate Marvel Team Up, is a time capsule of an era when the Ultimate Universe was still young, raw, and eager to discover itself. These team up stories are widely experimental, offering glimpses of how characters from across Marvel's world intersect with Peter's journey. It's a set of issues that doesn't always get the recognition it deserves, because it doesn't fit neatly into a single ongoing narrative. Yet, it's essential for understanding the tonal range of the Ultimate line. Here, Bendis collaborates with a rotating roster of artists, each bringing a different flavor to the visual landscape. Some pages feel gritty and grounded, others playful and hyper-stylized. The variety underscores one of the key themes of this omnibus. Spider-Man is not solitary. His influence ripples outward, touching lives and shaping events far beyond the walls of Queens. And yet, for all its tragedy, Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 5 is not depressing. It's triumphant. It celebrates what made Peter Parker the most relatable hero of his generation. Not his powers, but his heart. This omnibus doesn't just present the end of character. It honors the idea that anyone could wear the mask, that heroism isn't not genetic, but chosen. When it comes to extras, we get just under 40 pages of bonus material. The core of this selection is a gallery of variant covers, including variants from single issues as well as various collected edition releases. There's also a look behind the scenes of the artistic process, featuring character sketches, panel layouts, and cover drafts. It's a fairly standard batch of extras, the kind we have come to expect from Marvel omnibuses. The section is rounded out with a final afterword that closes the entire Ultimate Peter Parker saga. And that's all. Ultimately, Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 5 isn't just another book. It's a monument to best superhero reinvention of 21st century. It closes one door and opens another. It gives Peter Parker the ending he deserves and passing the torch to the next generation. If Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 5 gets your attention, you can order your own copy in our eShop, comicsbugle.com. Your friendly neighborhood comic book shop in Europe. Accept the great catalog of collected, deluxe, and absolute editions, epic collections and omnibuses. We guarantee you eco-friendly Hulkproof packaging, free shipping in whole EU, an option to pre-order your comic book now and pay for it later. You can also split full price to 4 separate payments because we know how expensive these books can be. So check it out, comicsbugle.com. You can find direct links below this video. And that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out any further videos. In our comment section, let us know what other books or topics would you like to see in our videos. And see ya, Bugles!